Good morning, and thank you to members of the press for being here this morning, and good morning to those of you listening on Radio Cayman and viewing us on CIG TV this morning. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you for tuning in and for being with us this morning to hear what is going to be a very exciting launch of a pilot program, which is really a collaboration between the Ministry of Education, Employment and Gender Affairs, the Ministry of Financial Services, Commerce and the Environment, and of course, Cayman Finance. So with that, I'd like to introduce the panel, myself, as being the Honourable Tara Rivers, Minister responsible for Education, Employment and Gender Affairs. We have Minister Wayne Panton, Minister of Financial Services, Commerce and Environment, and Mr. Jude Scott, the CEO of Cayman Finance. And we will all be participating in this morning's press conference to give you a bit more details about what we have planned, the launch of this very exciting student coaching and work experience program. So the main objective of this program, that is really a collaborative partnership, as I said, between the ministries as well as Cayman Finance, is to create a pathway for high-performing high school students to give them an opportunity to learn more about the Cayman Islands financial services industry and helping them to become more job-ready and engaged young professionals. So as you all know, the local statistics show that there is a real concern as it relates to youth unemployment. And so as a country, we needed to think about ways to help to decrease that rate going forward and to create opportunities for our young people to get meaningful experience and exposure in the world of work. And of course, financial services being an integral part of our economy, it was a natural fit to develop such a program, and Mr. Jude Scott is going to take us through some more details of the program when he has an opportunity to speak. But really, the aim of the program is to help our young people to get a foot in the door and to gain real understanding and skills that is required to be able to participate successfully in the world of financial services and to get them to have a better exposure to what some of the expectations are when it comes to actually gaining and maintaining employment in this industry as well. So by giving the exposure to our young people at an early age, while they're still completing their formal compulsory education, helps them to give or to get better guidance as well when it comes to choosing their career options and tertiary studies and further studies as well. It gives them more insight as to what it is that they would be interested in possibly pursuing, and not just from a theoretical perspective as well. So again, Mr. Scott will give us some more details of the actual program, but essentially it will include some workshops, one-on-one interaction with coaches, as well as work experience. The Minister Panton, I'd like to thank very much, and the Ministry of Financial Services for collaborating with my ministry and Cayman Finance in this very important initiative. And of course, I'd like to thank Cayman Finance, who is representing the financial services industry and partnering with the government to try to provide such an opportunity for our student. This really is a good example of what public-private partnership in education and training of our young people should look like. And I know many of you have heard me speak about this in a number of occasions, that this is a big plank and this is a big push for myself as Minister of Education, but also for this government. And it's to develop meaningful partnerships with the private sector in order to provide these opportunities for our young people so they can really access the world of employment that is available here in the Cayman Islands. And so, of course, it's in that spirit of partnership and that spirit of cooperation and the spirit of collective responsibility that we approach this particular program. And so with that, I think, you know, the possibilities are endless for our students, and we really encourage all of the Year 12 dual entry students. This particular program is geared towards the Year 12 dual entry students, and what that means is those students who are in Year 12 but are actually sitting their first year of A-levels or doing their first year in UCCI. And the reason that this program is really pitched at this particular subset of our Year 12 students is because those students who actually are in Year 12 but participate at SciFec, they already have an opportunity to take advantage of work experience, which is built in as part of the curriculum at SciFec. So again, when looking at making sure we create meaningful opportunities for our students, we identified that there was a gap in provision of service with respect to work experience for our dual entry students. So in having the conversation with Cayman Finance, this was a perfect opportunity, not only, as I said, to expose our students to these experiences, but also to fill a gap that exists in the current structure. And therefore, this is something that the year 12 students in the dual entry program had spoken to me about previously as well. And so I'm very happy to now be able to say that we as a government, we as a country, in collaboration with the private sector, we have worked towards addressing that need that they've expressed. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Jude Scott to tell us a bit more about the program and how the financial services industry will play an intimate role in this project.
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Rivers. When Minister Rivers and I had discussions on this, I think we had a vision that at some point we would be able to create something that was very effective. And really Minister Rivers' passion for it was just enormous. As we had discussions with Minister Panton, we realized that he had also had just a very strong passion for connecting what we had been doing in our careers and making that available to our young people as we continued developing the industry, realizing that we had had the opportunity to realize our dreams and wanting to pass that opportunity on to also the young people who are now coming out of our schooling system to create the opportunities for them that they deserve. And I want to really say thank you so much, Minister Rivers, Minister Panton, and also for your teams and the ministries for just the hard work that it took to really put this initiative together. As you can imagine, it's very easy to develop a complex initiative that's difficult to implement, but these teams work tirelessly to develop a very simple initiative that can be effectively implemented. So it's really a privilege for myself as the CEO of Cayman Finance, and Cayman Finance being the representative body for the entire financial services industry, for us to really continue what we've been doing as an industry for many, many years, albeit on an individual organization perspective, whether it be providing scholarships or be providing mentorships, or it be providing access for young, talented Caymanians to into the industry, get work experience. And now for the first time, with the full support of the Cayman Finance membership, we have the opportunity to provide a unique pilot program that can directly impact just a large segment of our students. The goal being that it'll be very successful, and then we'll look to see how this evolves in the future. So with that, I'll share just a little bit with you on the program itself. So the program objective is to create a pathway for high-performing students into the Cayman Islands financial services industry, resulting in job-ready and engaged young professionals. To sustain a world-class financial services industry, we need world-class professionals. To cultivate our own, providing opportunity and structure for young, able Caymanians to excel in this industry is not only hugely beneficial, but it is a requirement to remain one of the world's leading international financial centers. Cayman Finance has a clear mission to promote the development of the Cayman Islands financial services industry. And without a doubt, this kind of initiative and collaboration with our government shows our investment in our students is integral to our future. That is why we as a body are prepared to invest both time and resources into this important initiative. What does the program look like? We will support up to 50 dual enrollment students who are just finishing their year 12 and are about to embark on their final leg of education before making their career choices. The dual enrollment students are Caymanian students who are taking part in A-levels or their first year of an associate's degree. These students currently do not take part in any formal work experience programs. And this was an area that we felt very passionate about that we wanted to ensure, both from the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Financial Services and Cayman Finance and the financial services industry, that this was a real gap that we hadn't realized that we needed to be stepping in that space to fill for our young people, to give those talented young people access and insight into not only the jobs that are available in the financial services industry, but the careers that are available. The program includes three main elements. One, there'll be a weekly educational in-classroom workshops provided by Cayman Finance members. There will also be a one-on-one coaching program with coaches or mentors coming from Cayman Finance member firms who are at supervisory or manager level or higher. And the goal of that is providing one-on-one direct access to leading people in the financial services industry so that our young people are able to ask those questions that they may be uncomfortable asking in a group session, but are very important to them to help foster a vision and a passion for the future possibilities in the industry. The third aspect is work experience placements. And these are to be provided to the students during the summer holidays following the mentoring program completion. And we've also asked our member firms, unlike many other work experience programs that are unpaid, if they could provide a stipend during this 1 month of work experience in the summer, as we want to ensure that we're engaging our young people and we're also starting to treat them like the professionals that we want them to blossom into. Training will be provided for all the coaches through a partnership with Big Brother, Big Sister. Big Brother, Big Sister is a 100-year-old organization founded in New York, which is recognized all over the world as a leading mentoring organization. The partnership with Big Brother, Big Sister is to help the coaches prepare for the opportunity to help guide and shape these talented young people, whereby Big Brother, Big Sister will share tested and proven best practices of mentorship. Keys to a successful mentor or mentee relationships, and some training. We also felt it was very important that as we asked our professionals to step away from business opportunities and engage with our young people, that we didn't want it to be just sort of a casual by chance interaction. We wanted to make sure that our mentors were passionate about it, and also that we were providing the type of opportunity that could help them to be effective in terms of helping to lead and guide the young people that they interact with. Immediate impact. This initiative will have an immediate impact on the students that complete the 12-week program. The 1-month work experience placement at the end of the program is where they can also gain real life experience and put into practice those skills that we've been preparing them for during the classroom workshops and coaching sessions. We know there's often a gap between formal education and being job ready, and bridging this gap is at the heart of this pilot program. These placements will automatically open doors, provide insight, and encourage the students to make the right choices over the next few years to kickstart their careers. And I'd just like to again emphasize that, not kickstart their jobs, but kickstart their careers. Although the program itself is only 12 weeks long, we believe that there will be a sustainable outcome by providing improved links between the industry and our young students, as well as improved insight into what a career in the Cayman Islands financial services industry really means, and the wealth of opportunity across a variety of career types we have right here in our own country on our doorstep. Involvement and investment of Cayman Finance. In association with the Ministry of Education, Employment and Gender Affairs and the Ministry of Financial Services, Commerce and Environment, the members of Cayman Finance are putting a significant investment into this program. We need over 65 volunteers to support the in-class workshops and coaching, as well as finding up to 50 paid work experience placements. This is a considerable commitment by the Cayman Finance members, but one that the board feels, without doubt, will have a long-term positive outcomes for the industry and for the country, and one that I am passionately committed to, and one that our Cayman Finance members are passionately committed to. And certainly it is our pleasure really to partner with the government to embark on such an initiative that we think will be an initiative that helps change the face of public-private partnerships as it relates to education and work placement initiatives. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Let me add my welcome this morning as well, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you to my colleague, Minister Rivers, and Mr. Scott from Cayman Finance. I think it's probably been no secret that I have been a very strong advocate for the financial services industry and the opportunities that continue to exist within the industry. Clearly, the financial services industry is the most significant leg of our economy. And while the government is pursuing objectives of diversifying the economy, it is certainly going to be the case that for quite a long time, financial services will continue to be that very significant element of our economy. And therefore, we have to ensure that there are and continue to be opportunities for young Caymanians. Certainly, the two members of government that you have on the panel today, as well as Mr. Scott, represent at one time young Caymanians that actually took advantage of those opportunities that were afforded to them in the financial services industry. And I think certainly it's one of the reasons that we are here today in a public service capacity at relatively young ages.
Some younger than others.
some a little bit younger than others. But certainly it has enabled us to take advantage of opportunities within our own country. And I can tell you, after many years of practice in the private sector and watching the interest that parents have had in this country of trying to get their kids in to have summer interns and summer placements, there is a tremendous amount of interest there. This is something that we want to supplement and add to. We want to ensure that a program like this has very definable outcomes, very definable objectives. So it is going to add another layer, another significant element to what parents naturally did for their children anyway in pursuing these opportunities. But it's not just a summer job. It is an attempt to ensure that we have a broader understanding of the industry, broader understanding of the opportunities that are available, and hopefully to connect very directly and specifically with the aspirations of individual children in our country who may see those opportunities and wish to pursue those. For me, it was, I came about being a lawyer quite by accident. I thought initially I didn't have an interest in law. I was much more of a science-oriented person. But I had one individual in the name of Mr. William Walker, who was the senior partner of a firm, a well-known firm, of course, Walker's. And he reached out to me and asked me if I would be interested in doing law. It took some couple of weeks of thinking about it, but I decided I would do that. I would take that approach, and the rest is history, of course. I don't regret it, and I think if we can reach out to our children in the community today, who perhaps don't think that this is an area that they're interested in, perhaps don't understand the opportunities that are available, we can have similar outcomes. And I think that will be the better for us as a country. And certainly Mr. Scott mentioned that the Cayman Islands are known worldwide for the world-class level of professionalism and professionals that we have in the financial services industry. It's one of the distinguishing characteristics and one of the things that propels financial services in the Cayman Islands above many of our competitors, if not all. And while we have that professionalism and that level of caliber of people in Cayman, those are the kinds of people that we want to instill that same level of professionalism and those opportunities in our children. So this is a program, I think, that certainly supports all of the ambitions and aspirations that of the government and my ministry in terms of ensuring that there are clear ideas and understandings of the wide breadth of opportunities that are available within the financial services industry, but also making sure that we connect in a real way to address the aspirations and make sure that kids and the children of this country have those opportunities and can end up being key players of the largest industry in this country. And certainly that will that falls squarely within the remit of my colleague, Minister Archer. And anytime we can connect financial services with the country and ensure that everyone has a broad understanding of how valuable the industry is and exactly what opportunities are available there. Certainly that serves the interests of Cayman Finance, and collectively as a country and as a society, it makes us all better and makes it work. So thank you all very much for this. And again, I'd like to thank my colleagues for collaborating on this. I think it's a very exciting initiative, and I think it's one that will have a very high chance of being very fruitful and successful.
Well, again, thank you all for coming, and I think the key themes that we really want to stress and to take away, that this is about making real connections, creating real opportunities, and hopefully leading to real, tangible results in the future. May not be immediately, as in tomorrow, but planting those seeds. And I think Minister Panton made a very, very poignant point about the fact that the three of us are here having at some point had our time in the financial services industry. But it was because of these opportunities that we were afforded as young people, as children growing up in this country, that we are able to now be in a position to pay it forward. And it's really about making sure that our young people, especially our young people in the public school system, who in many instances do not, by virtue of family connections or otherwise, have the opportunity to make these kind of networking relationships as readily accessible as, say, some other children in other circumstances. So this really was a very exciting project and program for us as a government. And I think that, as you said, that the seeds have been planted for success in that regard. It is a pilot. We're looking to see how this first initiative works. We'll work out the kinks, so to speak, as we go along, if necessary, and look to hopefully continue this particular partnership and see how we can increase the breadth and the scope going forward. But at this point, we'd like to now officially kind of sign the understanding and endorsing the program as ministers with the member of Cayman Finance, and then open the floor up to questions. So, I'd like to now open the floor up to any questions that you may have.
And what's the overall level of investment in this, and from whom? So, how's it split?
Do you want to take that question?
Sorry, I didn't hear the full question.
What's the overall financial investment in this, and how's it split between the two entities?
Sure. So there's the strict out of pockets. Let me just have a look.
Sure. So from the government side, the Ministry of Financial Services and the Ministry of Education each will be contributing 15,000. So from the government side, the outlay is 30,000 in total.
And from the Cayman Finance members, there's a cash outlay of 40,000. And in addition to that, then the value of the mentoring time, as well as the in-classroom sessions and preparation for that, is in excess of 300,000 in time.
And the finance is mostly towards the stipends, is it, or varied the training?
Yeah. So the finance, the cash outlay from Cayman Finance has two elements to it. One is we're estimating somewhere between 30 and 50 of the students will actually participate in the work experience. So on the low end, that's 30,000 cash outlay, estimating $1,000 a month for a stipend. And then also a $10,000 contribution from Cayman Finance toward things like the media elements of the program to make sure that the good news of the program is getting out there. So the total value of the program is around 380,000 US. The value of the cash that's involved, as well as the value of time that's being invested in the program.
And do you have the companies and mentors already signed up, and the students as well?
We're just finalizing getting those all signed up, so that'll be finished in due course.
You're going to need 50 or 60 separate individuals, you said?
Correct. We've had lots of discussions with organizations, so we have tremendous support from the organizations, and we're just finalizing the individuals within those organizations.
Thank you.
Sure.
I thought I didn't have any questions, but now I do. This is a pilot program.
Correct.
It is. So the amount of money we're talking about there is for the first year or even the first month, because it's a month-long program, right?
It's a 12-week program, the way with the training and.
Correct.
12-week program. So
yeah.
the amount of money we're talking about there is spread over those 12 weeks, yes?
That's correct. That's correct.
And the thing is that the materials, and because there is materials to be done, there's the teaching tools, et cetera, to be developed. So that the upfront cost of the pilot program is something that can be will not be necessarily required going forward, because so the initial program is more costly to get it off the ground, because we have to get the materials created, the curriculum created, those types of things. So this is where the collaboration with the government regarding costs come in. But once we've done that, and the branding will be across the two ministries and Cayman Finance, so it will be co-branded. All of the materials would need to be co-branded. It is a program, as I said, that is sponsored, that is supported, and is delivered in collaboration with the government and Cayman Finance. And so those are the materials that will basically be available to use on numerous cohorts going forward. And so that's the I would say, from the perspective of the government's investment, the bulk of it is to create these types of program materials and getting the program up and running from that regard. And then that will hopefully will translate to less upfront costs when we do go to roll it out in years to come.
Right. So I can take from this then that certainly this is something you see that will be continued moving forward.
Absolutely. That is the intention. Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. But of course, we have to start somewhere. And this was what was determined.
And what I would just add to that is I think the exciting thing for us when we look at it is these different elements of the program. The financial services industry organizations have all been participating in these types of programs for many, many years. For the first time, we're able to sort of bring it together so you actually see the significant value in just one short initiative. And you can only imagine over the years and years that it's been done by the individual organizations, just the massive impact it's had. What we've been working on here is really to fine-tune all of that. And as Minister Rivers shared, as we looked at the program, we wanted to make sure it was simple and implementable. But we also wanted to make sure that we were professionally running it. So it was properly structured, it was properly managed throughout the process, that the content was developed in such a way that it's, we're not talking to people in the industry, we're talking to young people in languages that resonate with them and inspire them to be part of it.
And it can be understood then that the money from the government side will be part of the forthcoming budget in May. That allocation will be in that budget, yes? Or is it from this year?
From on my side, we're utilizing elements of the current.
Of the current budget?
And likewise, because again, this from especially within, I guess, both of our budgets, obviously Minister Panton from Financial Services and mine from Education and Employment Initiatives, this falls well within the remit of what we are, charged to do. And so we were able to find the funds this year to be able to support the program, because we didn't want to wait, even though the initial discussion happened not too long ago, or not too, it was very in short order when we moved from just having a casual conversation to bringing this to the forefront today. We wanted to actually try to capitalize on this year's year 12 graduating students, because it's a perfect time for a number of our students as well. The UCCI students have actually finished their examinations, so they have a period of time between now and graduation where they really, could benefit from this type of extended tutelage as it relates specifically to financial services. And then, of course, it would be liaising with the schools, both UCCI and the A-level students, to ensure that they have that opportunity as well before they actually complete the formal part of their year 12 experience.
And I'd like to commend the government, as Minister Rivers shared, in terms of how long it normally takes to put together programs like this. This was a very, very rapid development. Albeit we've been working on this for a few months now, but I think the pace at which it's developed and just the complexity and support has really been tremendous. So I just want to say credit to yourselves and your teams.
And I think it would be remiss of me if I didn't point out as well that while we have this notional value of $300,000 in time for professionals within the industry, done right, this program and that time contribution is invaluable. It's priceless, because the benefits that our children can get from this sort of program, I think, are invaluable, and I wouldn't want to put a price on it. There are opportunities there that who knows where those children, at what level they can attain. We know that we have the capacity, we have children in Cayman that are so immensely capable. The sky is the limit for them. And having these sorts of opportunities, having the ability to interact, they can go anywhere in the world and be top-class professionals. We already see some of that going on. We have many companies that are involved in the private sector generally, in the financial services specifically, that do some of their own programs, and they do it very successfully. But this brings together, in a very structured way, a program which I think supplements all of that and adds a new layer to that. And I commend, obviously we don't have the specifics of the members who are involved at this point. That is being put together as we speak. But certainly I want to, in advance, thank them for their commitment and their involvement in a program like this, because I regard it as priceless.
And I certainly echo that, because it's about sustainability. And we know, and we talk about sustainability, but this is a way to actually put a tangible program in practice in place in order to ensure that our financial services industry, and in this instance, has a sustainable future, because we are involving our future, which is our children, in the process. So if there are no other questions, I'd like to say thank you once again for coming and for hopefully promoting this idea as much as possible, because we do want as many companies involved and as many children who are able to participate in this pilot to get on board. So with that, thank you very much and have a great day.
Thank you all.
Thank you.